What's going on, everybody? My name is Suge, and of course, I'm here with Mr. Jay. We're going to be talking about the Mandalorian season 3, episode 20, or sorry, 21, The Pirate. It's going to be awesome talking about this episode because there was a lot in there, and it's going to get very. We've been throwing out a lot of ideas because there's a lot that happened at the end that we are going to talk about and kind of throw ideas and give our perspective and give our guesses on what's going to happen. There's about 3 episodes left. Um, and probably I'm going to talk to Mr. J. We might do the last two live. We'll see. We don't know. See if we can be able to do it. But Mr. J, how are you doing today? Are you ready to talk some Mandalorian?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me again. Yes, watched it today, early on today, and I was blown away, especially at the end, which we'll be talking about uh, soon.
Yes, very soon. So before we get into spoilers, real quick, Mr. J, you watched the episode today, so it's fresh in your mind. I watched it yesterday when it came out. Um, as far as the story of where Mandalorian is going, I've seen a lot of people complaining because they're like, "Oh, well, I just want to kind of see what Mando's doing and Grogu, and all this stuff, and why they're world building." But yet, a couple years ago, all I saw Star Wars fans complain about was, "Well, they're not building up the world. They're just sticking to the Skywalkers." And now we're building up the world, and people are complaining. They're like, "Oh, well, no, I just wanted, And it's like,
Still
come
can't
on, yeah,
wait.
you can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay, you got to figure it out. What do you want? I like what we're doing here because we were talking off screen, and talking about our thoughts and giving our predictions of what might happen, and it's connecting things. It's connecting Rebels. It's connecting the Bad Batch. It's connecting all these things, all the cartoons, all the shows, all the movies, and even if you didn't like certain movies, cool. But it's connecting them, and it's making them all one. To they're all in the same universe. They're all the continuities there. They're and everything like that. And people are still complaining. I'm just like, why? Let's have fun with it. I thought this episode was one of the best episodes.
It was. It
Because
was.
because you get a lot of you get action. It's almost like a little side quest, but then it goes at the end. You have two stories that I think are gonna be pivotal in the last 3 episodes. And we'll talk about that. But I mean, just overall, what are your thoughts about the world building and the things that they're doing, the continuity they're building? Do you like? Are you enjoying it, or would you want something else, or how do you see it so far?
I think what they're doing is great. Kind of some people, dedicated fans, and just people that just love sci-fi, that are watching. They're just throwing them off guard. You don't know what's coming. At least for me, I don't know what's happening next. I'm excited to see mine and your predictions. To see if they work out, see if they pan out, see if they make sense. I'm excited to see different, like you said, different world SR Wars worlds come together into one, and people who's been following be like, I remember that, hey, I know where that's from. The dedicated fans who are like dedicated their time and energy. It's like certain checkpoints you see in their heads. Oh man, I'm glad I'm invested on my time. Now it pays off.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, I love what they're doing, especially at the end, and especially I can't wait for episode 6 when it comes out because yeah, the ending was a shocker.
Yeah, very much. And I like what they're doing because we're getting again. The thing I always heard them complain about was, oh well, Star Wars is always about the Skywalkers. This has nothing to do with the Skywalkers, and people are complaining. Yeah, I will admit the first season of Mandalorian was very westerny, very like that, and it was like a adventure every week. The second season was kind of the same, with a little bit of the Boba Fett show kind of tied into it. And this season has been more world building, more explaining things, and you're getting answers. Like we got last week, we got an answer of how Grogu was saved, and this, and things like that. And you're getting this, and you're getting a lot of things answered, and they're building the lore of things that we saw in the cartoons, and now we're seeing them live action, and they're building that lore. And so I enjoy it, and I just don't understand why people complain. I understand something, people. If you're watching this, you're thinking I'm a Star Wars fan, like a Star Wars stan. I'm not. I actually don't. I actually not a big Star Wars fan. To be honest with you, I enjoy Star Wars. I've seen the movies in theater. My brother was a little older, and he watched the original movies in theater. And I've always watched the original movies. I always watch them a lot, but I'm not the Star Wars fan. I'm not the oh my god, no, that's not me. So for me to enjoy this means I'm enjoying this because it's something I enjoy, and it's freshening because it's not about the Skywalkers, and it's something new, and you're just getting a whole lot of a lot of stuff, and I'm enjoying it. And for people to be complaining about it, it's just frustrating and annoying. But that's enough of that rant. Let's get into the episode. We're going to start talking spoilers here. So we'll start off with this man. You see him. Well, the episode. I am so sorry. I just lost my whole train of thought. Oh wow! But we'll talk about Captain Carson Teva. I think I'm saying that correctly. He, actually, my bad. So we'll actually start with Gorian Shard. He's the magistrate in Navarro, and he's talking about building the city up, how and it goes back to the other episode where Mando was there and they shot these pirates, and then the pirates chased Mando. And
you say Gorian Shard, the pirate was one of the pirate. You mean Greek Karga, the magistrate, the high magistrate?
Yeah. But remember, in the episode they shot the pirate when Mando was on Navarro.
Okay.
Yeah, they shot because remember the guys wanted to drink, and he's like, "Oh no, it's a school now," and then they shot them all up. Yeah, so these are those same pirates. So yeah, Shard is sitting there in Navarro, kind of just chilling. The pirates show up, and they start shooting at the town. So he's like, "I need help." So he hits up Captain Carson, and he's like, yo, getting shot at, can you come help us? Can the New Republic come help us? So he's there, and I forgot to download the picture, but there was a fighter pilot that he was standing to, the alien. Supposedly that's from Rebels. Would you happen to know, or so? Because that's what I saw online. People were like, "Oh, that's a character from Rebels, or the same species of that character, possibly."
I didn't fully pay attention to it. It was like it was in the back of my mind, like for later. But
okay,
now that I think that is the same species. I gotta get double check on that too.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, I want to go help them. We got to go hit up Coruscant, and he's like, well, Coruscant hasn't responded to us in weeks. He's like, well, I'm gonna just go over there then. He's like, I'm gonna just go. So he shows up at Coruscant, and as soon as I saw, and I know this is a Star Wars show, but the guy that was playing the officer, I forgot the actor's name, but he was in the movie, the spoof movie, Walk the Line with it was about Dewey Cox, who was it was like a spoof about a famous singer. I can't think of his name right now, but it's like a spoof. But every time that actor's in it, and like the main actor will catch him doing a drug, he'll have him catch him smoking weed. He's like, "You don't want this. It makes you feel good." And then the next time it was cocaine. He goes, "It makes all the bad stuff turn into the good stuff." And it's just while I saw him, I started laughing because that's what I thought of. Mm-hmm. Captain Carson goes to Coruscant. And he's like, hey, the pirates attacking, and he's like, we need to go help them. And he's like, well, we're the New Republic. They haven't even joined the New Republic, so do we really want to help them? And all that stuff. And I said this when you jumped on. We were going to talk about who we were going to talk about. This person, I cannot stand them.
No.
And the actor's great. This is nothing about the actor. The actor's
the character. The
character Kane, I hate her. I hate them. I can't stand them because menacing and BSing. Good God, because she sees him walk in and she's just eyeing him, and then he goes in the office and they're talking. Also, why are you walking in there? She's like, "You want something from the commissary? I'll get it for you." No, you came in to eavesdrop. Why are you in here eavesdropping? And so he's talking about what's going on, And and she's like, well, maybe they need to learn their lesson. He's like, well, that's imperial thinking, you know. And she's like, and then he brings up Moff Gideon, which we know she's connected to because she served on his ship. And he goes, Moff Gideon. I goes, I heard Moff Gideon never made it to trial. And they're like, well, no, it's a rumor and stuff like that. So when you heard that, Jay, what were your thoughts when he said Moff Gideon never made it to trial? And you could tell that she knows something about it, or she's in on it, because she's 100%. Just the look she has is pissing me off. The look is just she's just, it's like, it's irritating me. Like, just thinking about it right now, it's irritating. I'm getting irritated. What'd you think when he showed up at Coruscant and he was talking about Moff Gideon not making it to trial?
As soon as I saw her face, I'm thinking like, man, I already know something bad or is about to happen, or I'll talk about Moff Gideon is about to happen. And now the way that Captain Carson was looking her, I don't know if you noticed that, the way he was looking her over, like up and down, like, lady, don't I know you from somewhere? I can already tell, like, oh man. And then when he had said like, hey, Moff Gideon never made a trial, I'm thinking that's what we had talked about in our last, or in our ladies video, that one of our predictions, like, hey, the old girl has something to do with Moff Gideon probably escaping.
Oh, she for sure she does. Sure she does.
And that right there kind of confirmed that. I'm thinking like, even before before the end, I was looking like, yeah, Moff Gideon, this definitely did make it to trial. Something happened. So we keep seeing her face. Every time I see her face, I'm just waiting until Moff Gideon and her
that face right there. Every time I see it, I get angry. I'm like, oh, she's poured us something. Why? Oh, great job though. The actress, great job. Great job. She's making me feel some type of way.
I'm just waiting until like Moff Gideon and her to just reunite. I'm like, yo, stop showing her face. Like, she's done so much damage to the scientists that she done wiped the scientist's mind clean. So there's no turning back. There's nothing she's not willing to do for Moff Gideon.
Yeah,
a lot of people
she's tight with Moff Gideon.
Like, bro,
yeah,
like
for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. And so he's like, he tells the officer, he's like, we need to do something. He goes, if you don't take care now. I know, because like we were just talking about before, the movies have already came out, so we know the future.
Mm-hmm.
The First Order is going to come into power, which is the remnants of the Empire. So that's going to happen, and he says it. He goes, something big is going to happen, but something's going to happen. By the time you react, it's going to be too late. So it's referring to the First Order. So he takes off. Now, I was like, how are they going to get the Mandalorians involved? Because obviously, if you're watching the show, you're like, okay, so he's going to go talk to the Mandalorians somehow, And when he was already on the planet, I was like, damn, how do you find him? Like, does he have it? But I'm thinking they blew up the Razor Crest, so he doesn't have a signal on that. The Naboo ship, he's only seen it once, and I'm thinking, so it's Bo-Katan, so he's connected to Bo-Katan somehow. So he lands and he shows up and he's like, yeah, he goes, and they start talking. He's like, yeah, I used to serve with somebody. So I was like, oh, it's Bo. I'm like, why would Bo snitch him out? Bo's just, so I'm like, oh, this is going to mess things up for Bo. And it ends up being R5, which was hilarious. And you're like, well, R5, you're not chilling with us anymore because you're over here snitching us out. And we talked about snitches last week. Can't be snitching on people. Well, R5 snitching. So R5 is out of the group. He's going to be left somewhere, being scrap metal. But that's how the Captain Carson finds him, and he tells him, he says Shard is in trouble here. He shows him the message. He goes, he's in trouble. He goes, and I can't do anything about it because the new Republic is not allowing me to. So I know you don't want your friend to die. Could you help him? He's like, Mando's like, we'll see what we can do. And then he tells him, like, hey, like, I'm not going to tell anybody. Like, I know you're going to move, but I'm going to not tell anybody that you're here, which I think is a sign of respect. And I think that's going to play later, especially when we talk about the ending of this episode. It's going to play later down the road. But when Captain Carson landed, got to the planet where the Mandalorians are at, what were your thoughts? Like, did you think the same thing about how is he going to find them? Because we obviously knew they were going to get involved, but how were they going to get involved? Were you surprised how he found them, or what were your thoughts?
No, from not Rebels, but from previous, I think the previous season, Captain Carson was pretty smart, loyal dude. So I knew he was gonna fight him eventually. The fact he said thanks R5, I was looking like that. That blew me away. I thought he was talking about like Darn or Bo-Katan, but I'm like,
yeah, that's what I thought too.
But yeah, when Mando asked him, when all in that cave like for help, it looks like stuff are not going his way. And I'm thinking like, oh man, the Creed this about to be like the first like negative outbreak of the Creed, because ever since the men have been redeemed, everything cool. I kept my mask on this time, or my helmet on this time, we're good. But he asking to save Grogu again, because remember, I think the first season, the day that they had saved Grogu the first time from the bounty hunters, that Carter was on the other side, and Pez talks about that. But then I don't think if Pez didn't speak up after Mando gave his speech, I don't think they're gonna buy it.
You know what? I think you're right, but I also think too, because we'll talk about this at the end of the episode with the armor. I think she's sitting back saying, "Let's see if they come together." You know what I'm saying? Like, because you notice she didn't say anything. She was like, "Who wants to speak?" She's kind of the leader.
She is,
and she's like, she didn't really say anything, and I think she's kind of like, let me see if they can come together. Mm-hmm. Bo, Din, Paz, because as soon as Paz got up and he started talking away, I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna kill it.
Right?
He's not gonna want to go, and it's just gonna be Bo and Din. And then he was like, we're Mandalorian, and then he was like, these two risk to save my son. I'll fight. I'll fight alongside them. I was like, oh, okay, he's in.
All right, cool, smooth. Whew.
Yeah. And so then they were all in on it. And then I felt really like, I kind of smiled, because then like Bo kind of took a leadership role. She's like, all right, we're going to go. This is the plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're outnumbered, but I think we can get them because we're all skilled, and we're going to work together, and we're going to be heroes. It's kind of cheesy, but it was like, had me ready. I was like, dude, give me a jetpack and a gun. I'll go in there and fight. And so they get to Navarro, and you just have this action pack flying, almost like White House down, or not White House. What? Yeah, is it called White House? But like the movie, like when the White House gets taken over, and there's.
But yeah, I'm not talking about
you. But they're like,
or something. Is it?
Was that?
Olympic has fallen.
No? Yeah, Olympic has fallen. There's another one, but like, they're trying to get it. They're trying to retake something, and it was dope to see. And then you got you see other Mandalorians and how their combat, ready. Yeah. You have one that was really good with the grappling hook. The others were going around just getting people. They got a little tied down. There was a point where they got tied down, and they were sandwiched. And then homeboy Paz just comes in with the Gatling gun and just thought he was the Terminator. And then we see the armor in action. Dude, she is just rolling with a hammer and a freaking.
She got the hands. I'm not.
Oh, she got the. I'm not put some whooping on everybody. Yeah, she.
That part where she like crashed down. I'm thinking like, I don't know why, but I don't know if I felt that. I'm thinking like, yo, that must have hurt. I take my wrist. I'm thinking like, is it broken? No. Okay, I'm good. I felt she was attacking me.
The 2 times that we've seen her fight, I think it's been 2 times. It might be the third.
Yeah,
but the 2 times have just been incredible fight scenes.
Yeah.
Especially the Stormtrooper one was over the top good. Like, it was great. This one was good, but yeah, I remember when they go down into the sewer.
Yeah.
And she's kneeling in front of the forge. And all the stormtroopers are surround her, and then she starts cracking everybody.
Ankles, knees.
Yeah, and she breaks one of their helmets.
Yeah,
that scene alone. That was like the Justice League Batman or the Superman versus Batman scene where Batman goes in the warehouse and just like tears everybody up. Like that's how that felt. Like
Yeah.
that was dope. But they're able to take the town back. The pirates start taking off. And the townspeople come back and they get in between them, and so they're not able to leave. So the main pirate, who is I can't remember the name.
The main or the actual captain or Gorian Shard?
No, not Gorian Shard, but the captain of the pirates, the one there. But he starts telling them, the captain starts telling them to fire on the people. Bo and Mando just takes them out. Take them out. Takes out the ship. The ship, gets destroyed, and Shard turns around and says, "Look, from this point of the planet to this point of the planet, that's yours. You do whatever you want with it, and you're welcome to stay here."
Gorian Shard is the pirate king. Grief Karga is the one you're talking about, the high magistrate.
Oh, so I've been getting it wrong this whole time.
That's what I'm trying to tell you before. I'm thinking like I'm like, hold on.
Okay, Gorian Shard is the pirate. My bad. I thought Shard. Okay, so I'm confused. That's my fault. Okay, I thought Gorian Shard was the magistrate. Okay, so Grief Karga. Yeah. Grief Karga is Carl Weathers.
Yes.
Okay, so I need to pay attention more. My bad. My fault. So if you want to roast me in the comments, roast me in the comments. Okay, yeah. Shard starts firing on the people, and then Mando and Bo take him out, and then Grief Karga, he tells them, "Hey, from this point of the planet to this point of the planet, that's yours. You're more welcome to stay here. This is your home now." And Den kind of gave that speech, in the cave, what you were talking about, where he says maybe it's time for us to be out in light, because we know in the first season they were hiding, and then the second season they were hiding, and then they were hiding this season. So now they're going to stay on this planet. So you're thinking, okay, what's going to be the ending of the show? And all of a sudden, Paz goes to Bo and is like, "Hey, the armor wants to see you." So I'm like, okay, she's probably going to give her rank her up, be like, "Hey, you led this, you did a great job, we're gonna rank you up or something." And we were talking about this offline because you said when this happened, you were like, "What the hell?" So she goes down and they go down to the sewer where they were living before, and she starts talking about the forge. She's like, "I remember the Great Forge on Mandalore, and it was grand, and all the sounds you would hear of just people making armor, just boom, boom, and it was a glorious sound and all the stone." Bo's like, "Yeah, I remember that." And then she looks at Bo and just goes, "Take your helmet off." And like I said, when we started talking about this, you were like, "Wait, what the hell?" And I was like, "Wait, why is she having to take her helmet off?" And what's crazy is for Bo to this point prior was like, "We don't want, that's the old way. We don't believe in that way," and all this stuff. But since she's been with Den, she's been 100% behind it. Like, she's respected everything they've said. How they do stuff. She's respected it. Hasn't taken off her helmet. Only took her helmet off to eat when nobody was around. All these things. And she's hesitant. She's like, "Wait, what?" But we're not supposed to. She's like, and the armor's like, "Do you trust my station?" When she threw her weight around like that, I was like, damn. I was like, Bo must have done something she wasn't supposed to. And before we get into more of that, what were your thoughts when the armor did that?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, "Yo, you mean tell me that the Bo's way, Bo, the Bo-Katan doesn't and her people, or the people that were following her, were living without their helmets. You mean tell me she went through the living waters with Den? No, she's been cool with everybody. She's been cooperating now, and now you're telling her to take off her helmet again?" I was like, "What's going on here?" And yeah, when she threw her weight around, I was looking like, "Ooh."
That usually means something bad. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like, I think a Bo-Katan did something bad. I was thinking like, damn, the armor talking like that, because how we discussed previous videos, she was acting like all grandmotherly, but now this is the first time where she's like, "Oh, yo, I'm the head person here. Like, yo, do what I say, or we've got problems." And
exactly.
We just seen her take out 3 full pirates with nothing but I don't know what that weapon was, but still, we just seen that scene. I don't want that. I don't think Bo can hang. So I'm thinking like Bo. I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking like Bo just do what she says. I'm not shocked as Bo. Bo was just like, what the hell too. But yeah, when she says like, yo, we need to unite all of Mandalore. We need to get Mandalore back. And I'm thinking like, okay, this is about to be huge now. And
Yeah.
you see you walk both ways. I was looking like, okay, that's fair. But Bo has walked both ways without the helmet, with the helmet, yada yada. And you can see, but the most exciting part for me was you see Bo's face. That's like tears. You see tears by the form of her eyes. Like, yo, all she wanted to do was just lead and be, good to her people. And now she gets that second chance that she's been yearning for.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
when the season started, she's chilling in her castle alone, and now she has people. And now she has purpose, and this is not now. This is that purpose again, and now I hope she does like a great job. I don't know where this is going to take us, because she said the armor said bring back the the Mandalorians in exile. I'm like, who the hell else is in exile?
Yeah, for sure. And then she brought up the mythosaur, and she was like, she's like, it was in Legends. You saw it. She goes, that means we're like the new regime is coming, and you're the one that's going to lead us. And it's like, oh shit, okay, we're going that way with it. Yeah. Now, I thought when it cut to them walking, I thought that maybe the armor had taken her helmet off, but then I got a little worried because I thought maybe the armor had told her, okay, you have to challenge Din to get the Darksaber in order to lead us, because she's clearly saying Bo's the leader,
right?
Din isn't. So that's what I thought was going to happen, and then it obviously didn't. And like you said, the armor goes in and explains to her, because Paz is like, wait a minute, she took her helmet off, and she explains. She goes, she walked both ways, and she's going to be the one that bring us all back together. I want her to go and get all the Mandalorian that are out there in exile or wherever they're at, and bring them. Helmet, no helmet, we want them all together. Because Armor says like it's time to take Mandalore back, which means they're going to go there and they're going to fix stuff. So, so that was very interesting. And then for Paz, it was interesting because Paz, in the cave had kind of, said, I'm going to do anything for these people because they helped me get my son. He even looks to Mando. Mando gives him a head nod. So Paz is like, all right, cool. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do.
If you cool everything, cause I thought you know how dudes do. Like when you give a head nod, it's like y'all thinking telepathically. I thought that conversation was going between them. Like, hey, I thought you was gonna be it, but if you get with it, I'm good with it.
Yeah, like I'm like you beat me because that's what happened. Din beat Paz. He challenged him for the Darksaber, beat him. Which is why I thought Bo was going to challenge him.
Right.
And he says, and he looks at him, you're right. He gives him the head nod. He's like, oh, okay, you good with this? And he was like, yeah, I'm good with this. All right, cool. I'm good. I'm not going to say anything. And so now you're like, okay, so now I think maybe this is the last time we see Bo. She's going to go off and do her own thing. Yeah. I feel that. I don't feel we're going to see. I feel now, to be honest with you, we're not going to see any more Mandalorian other than Din. I think the story is now going to shift to Din, Grogu, trying to find out who's using this Beskar stuff or what's going on with that situation. I think the Mandalorians are going to stay on Navarro until Bo comes back and gets everybody, and then they're going to go to Mandalore. But I think now it's just going to be, it's about Din, Grogu finding out what's going on with Moff Gideon. So then I'm thinking, okay, the episode's going to end. And then all of a sudden, it was weird because you've obviously seen Aliens, right? The movie Aliens?
Yeah, Ripley and all that.
Yeah. So when you see the X-Wing, it looked kind of like horror-ish because it's like dark. You only see the X-Wing. And then you slowly see a silhouette of something appearing. So I was like, what the hell is that?
I was prepared for a jump scare. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, this is a jump scare. Because that just looks crazy. This right here just looks crazy. And especially when you're watching it and it's dark and everything. And who knew X-Wings had lights though? It's a feature I didn't know they had. But he turns on and then he's by himself. So I'm thinking, oh shit, they're gonna kill him. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna get killed, shot down. Somebody's gonna, a ship's gonna appear. Something. The Death Star is gonna show up. Something. And he turns the lights on and he sends out a probe from the R unit. And it, like you said, I thought it was gonna be a jump scare. It turns and you see a hand and you see bodies. You're like, okay. And then they start like pushing things together. Oh, this was a ship, but it was classified. Oh, this was the ship that might have been taking Moff Gideon. Oh, it was the same time it did. Oh, it never made it. All these things. And I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be a ship that pulls up and it's going to be Kane. That girl, Kane shooting him or something. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. But instead, he's scanning and he says there's something embedded into the walls, and it's Beskar metal. And we're like, wait, Beskar metal, the only people that have Beskar. But I just thought about this, and I'll kind of circle back to it. But he says, okay, it's Beskar. So obviously, the only people we know that has Beskar is the Mandalorians.
Right.
But remember, the Empire had Beskar too. In season 1, they gave Mando Beskar. So there's multiple people that have Beskar. But I think a lot of people, what I've been seeing a lot of people forgetting, and I kind of said it to you, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. In season 2, when Ahsoka appears and she's fighting the lady that had taken over the town, and she has the Beskar spear, which and then ends up getting. Where did she get that spear from? Don't know. Well, in that episode, Ahsoka asked her, "Where's your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?" So my thought was, as soon as he started talking about that, is Thrawn's the one that came and got Moff Gideon. Now, I know you were saying, well, isn't he off with Ezra and the whales somewhere else in another, wherever they're at, which could be, but why would they drop in season 2 about Thrawn being around? Then they never mentioned him because people thought, oh, we're gonna get Thrawn. Never mentioned him. And then all of a sudden now Beskar metal has shown up. And the only people that have Beskar metal is the Mandalorians, the Empire when they gave it to Din, and that Beskar spear. Well, who gave that Beskar spear to I forgot the character's name, but the lady from season 2 that Ahsoka found. Who gave her that? I don't know. But Ahsoka says, oh, your master's Admiral Thrawn. So it would make sense that she got it from Thrawn, and Thrawn has Beskar, which would make sense. So first off, let's talk about the ship part. What did you think about that? Did you think the episode was over when you saw the X-Wing, you were like, wait, what's going to happen? What were your thoughts?
No, I was about to turn it off because I'm thinking like, all right, I got to be it. The credits about to come up. Nope. To the ship. I was looking like, I'm so glad I pressed the exit button on my remote. But no, yeah, like you said, it was creepy. It was eerie, an eerie feeling.
Very eerie. Yeah.
What though for me? And I'm thinking like, man, something bad is about to happen. This man all out in lone deep space. This man brave as hell for even doing this. Doing this sweep. And when they saw the bodies and stuff, I'm thinking like, who the hell did this people like that? They just did them not dirty. I mean, I think they were just frozen or whatever. But they're obviously dead because once air gets inside the ship, you turn to ice or whatever. And from other
Oh, you went mute. You muted yourself. You muted. That's okay.
Wait, did you hear me before? Wait, what was the last thing I said?
When you said when they were frozen and then you cut off.
Oh, okay, my ain't pressing about what? My bad. Hold on. Anyway, but when they said Beskar armor on the walls, that took me for a loop. And then till you told me offline, and I restarted my memory about the spear. And now I'm thinking like, I'm thinking myself like, did I miss something like in one of these shows? Like, did Darth Thrawn come back and I just missed something, or is Thrawn still with Ezra and with the whales? I don't know. Yeah. So, and like you said before, this is the type of stuff that has me excited. I can't speak for everybody else that's complaining about, oh, where's Luke? Where's Skywalker's? I know this has me excited because I really do not know what's about to happen next week And so far.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, you're like, well, wait a minute. The last time we saw Thrawn, he was over here. But like I said, and why in season 2 would Ahsoka drop that and be like, "Where's Thrawn at?" So obviously he's around. He's just hiding or something like that, or we don't know what's exactly going on. But that's just like, why would you bring that up? And then like they never mentioned it again.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mention of it. So it was like maybe the right because then I've started seeing people talking about it and they're like, well, where did the Beskar come from? And I'm like, don't y'all remember that lady had the Beskar spear in this season 2? So where'd she get that from? Where'd she get that Beskar? And a lot of that's a lot of Beskar too.
It takes a lot of armor. Like somebody, like I don't know if it was stolen, but that's something that looks like something like the armor or somebody of her skill set has to make.
Would build something like that. And so it's like, okay, where did that come from? So obviously somebody's running around with Beskar. There are rumors, or not rumors. There are like speculation that these are some of the Mandalorians that sided with the Empire that were on in the cartoon shows that might have sided with the Empire. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I think that this now takes the show completely left. Because you're like, all right. But I think like I said, I think the focus is now going to focus on just Din and Grogu trying to figure out where Moff Gideon is. I think Bo-Katan's going to leave. I think Captain Carson's going to come back to Mando because he's going to find out that they came to the planet and saved it. Something's going to happen.
And they'll start questioning the Mando.
So he's going to go over there. Yeah, he's going to go over there and question him and say, like, did you get Moff Gideon? He's like, no, we didn't get Moff Gideon.
But I gave that dude something.
Yeah, because he wants Grogu. So then he's going to be like, all right, well, he got taken, and we need to figure out where he got taken from, or how he got taken, who took him. And then I think that's going to start that adventure. So I think the next episode is going to be kind of slow, not really action-packed, but more setting up the last 2 episodes. Because I asked you in the beginning when we started doing these reviews, I said, do you think they have the cojones to kill Grogu? Because we don't know what happens to Grogu in the later movies. We don't see him. Like, again, we all know the movies came before the show, so they're gonna fix some things. But do you think maybe that's what happens, and that's how Palpatine gets born? Is they're able to capture Grogu, they're able to extract his DNA, because if you remember when the scientist was talking, they take 2 strands of DNA and they put them together to make a perfect one. So obviously we know they need Grogu.
Right.
Who's the other person? Is it Palpatine? So it's a lot here. It's a lot, and I think they're going to try to fix some of the last 3 movies issues with some of the stuff that that's going to happen in the show, especially with the Ahsoka coming out. We were talking offline that Celebration is coming up. So I said, don't be surprised after Mando appears or premieres that an Ahsoka trailer shows up, like on Wednesday or Thursday. I wouldn't be surprised. But like, there's so many different directions we can go with this. They don't have to bring up Thrawn. It could just be Mandalorians that sided with the Empire. It could just be Moff Gideon. It could be so many different things. We could go so many different directions. And like you said, I'm excited because, again, we're learning new stuff. We're learning. We're getting new lore, and that's okay. And again, somebody was saying about this, the Mandalorian. They're all called Mandalorians. Even Paz says it, goes, we're Mandalorian. So the show's entitled The Mandalorian, but which one are we talking about? Are we talking about Bo? Talking about Den? Talking about Grogu? We're talking about the armor. Talking about Paz. So the show is centered around Grogu and Den, but the idea is we could talk about all these characters because it's not just about him. The first season and a half or so was really about him and getting his backstory. But now we're seeing like Grogu growing up, Grogu learning the ways of the Mandalore, things like that. So there's very much a lot of things that can happen that I'm excited for, and interested to see what happens. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's expanding into something bigger than the Mandalorian. I don't know if they're gonna keep the name just for copyright and continuity purposes, but yeah, it's definitely expanding for the better. Um, like how uh, I don't know if this is like a good analogy, but kind of how like Marvel just did with the with their like separate movies, and then brought out adventures, they start bringing up other characters. I feel like this it's gonna go, but in like a smaller package, of course. But
Yeah,
but yeah, but now that Bo-Katan about to go find under other Mandalorians that walk the way that she once did or still do, I don't know. Come back, the Mandalorian about to take back Mandalorian in the future. Or Grogu, we have yet to see what Grogu can do at full power. Or like you said, extract his DNA. Is he gonna die? The Mythosaur. What about that? Navarro now. Vane. Well, so Vane escaped, so we might see him again. They
yeah,
wrote some other Star Wars show. So it's like I said, it's a whole bunch of stuff. My mind's still spinning from it, but I'm excited. I'm really excited, like for future projects now.
yeah, for sure. I'm very excited. I'm happy where we're going, and I just think that people need to understand that there's a lot of lore out there, that could be represented in these shows, and they're trying to do that. And I think, not every episode's going to be, um,
Like fighting gun pack, boom, boom, boom.
yeah, we need to build this world, and you're
Yeah,
building it up. Because I'm pretty sure in the last two episodes we're gonna go, oh, we remember that's what happened in this episode, and it's paying it off now. That's what I like. I like a show when it pays it off.
right.
Even if it's cheesy, if you pay it off, I enjoy something like that.
Me
So
too.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see if it pays off and things like that. So we'll see where this goes. Any final thoughts on the episode, or anything you want to bring up before we get out of here?
Um, I don't think we talked about everything. Just it's just gotta wait till next Wednesday. Big cliffhanger. More to come.
More to come, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. So, for myself and Mr. J, thank you for watching this review. If you have any comments, or you think we're just wrong, or you think we're right, let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel about it. Let us know what your thoughts are, your predictions, what you think is going to happen, and let's have a good conversation. It's been fun. I'm enjoying where we're going with the Mandalorian. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Make sure to click that button, the like button. Make sure, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. Also, both of our social medias are in the description. So make sure to follow Jay, follow myself, and be on the lookout for more episodes of The Mandalorian Season 3. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great day. It's nighttime. Whenever you're watching this, day or night, have a great one. Take care.